layout. Is that how you like it?
Yeah, that's better.
All righty. We'll see if anybody comes in here.
Well, I'm sure they will.
So
I'm sure they will.
it always takes the last minute lives when there ain't a minute to siphon some people in.
Well, and then it takes even longer for us to see the comments in StreamYard.
I know that it's crazy because like they'll pop up on my TV 10 seconds before they pop up on
Yeah,
stream. And I'm
I've
streaming
noticed that.
Jeremy Kovlin. Hey, Jeremy, if you're not busy, man, I'd love it if you could jump up here with us.
That'd be awesome. I don't even see Jeremy's comment yet. There it is.
I seen it on the TV. Lisa Elliott, good morning. Actually, one second, I'll shoot him a text with it in there. If he's busy or at work, he ain't got to click it. But if he wants to come up, he's got it. Completely up to him. I understand if he's too busy. It is a weekday.
I don't know what Lee's got going on, but I hope everything works out all right.
Right. Yeah, he doesn't get frantic like that very often. Yeah, he gets tore up upset pretty often, but he doesn't get frantic like that very often.
Jeremy says he's working. Well, supposed to be.
I understand, buddy. I just wanted to offer. So, thank you anyways. I sent Jay Puppy the link. Wait, he'll click it here before long probably. But all the same. So Sunday, y'all are going home?
Yes, we'll be leaving. We'll probably get up Sunday morning. I don't know if we'll fish Sunday morning or not. All depends on what checkout time is, and maybe we could fish a couple hours and then go tear down camp and get out. But it'd be nice to be able to get back here before 4 o'clock so we could put everything away and still have some time to relax a little bit before we got to go to bed because we got to work Monday. So
right. And
my guess is Sunday morning we'll probably just get up, have breakfast, and start tearing everything down. So Friday and Saturday is the only fishing time we're going to get.
Okay. Well, and then if y'all are still in town, go and grab lunch or something before leaving out Sunday. We can grab something to eat or something if y'all want. It's up to you.
Yeah,
depends how y'all's schedule goes and how it all falls. Brian B's in here. Anybody fishing Friday? Me and Chris was just talking about that. He's planning on being out early morning. I think I'm gonna try to jump in the boat with him that morning, and Daddy gets off at lunch, so he'll be out on the water, sometime after that. So,
yeah, if we can get out there Friday morning and get in an area that has a halfway decent signal or something, maybe you guys can go live and go live on your channel or something and give everybody something to watch.
Well, your boat's gonna be the one on the water Friday morning. If you want to go live though, set you up a live stream and I'll show you where you can go live from.
We'll figure it out. I'm not much on scheduling things. I like to do them on the spur of the moment and see who shows up. You're right, Lyle. Neither one of us are Lee Evans. Thank the Lord.
Jeremy said he'll be out there Friday.
All right.
So
maybe we can hook his kayak up to my boat and see how fast we can go.
Oh, will he be in the kayak?
I don't know. I just assumed he would be.
Oh, I think he mostly catfishes out of his boat. I think when he's in the kayak, he probably crappie fishes more from what I've seen. Oh, sold the kayak.
No.
Hey, I wouldn't want to personally. Got a boat. I see no point being out in the kayak.
It's if you had a kayak and you caught fish in the kayak, you would keep the kayak because it's just it's a whole different way of. Even though you're doing the same techniques, it's still different. You know what I mean? It's because it doesn't matter. You catch a 5-pound fish in a kayak, it's like catching a 20-pounder in the boat.
I've got an Old Town. What is it? Angler 10, I think is what it is. And right now, it's got a hole in the side of it, the size of a basketball.
Wow!
my little brother had a big bonfire, and after a trip one day, he took them out to his house, and the bonfire got a little too hot for how close the kayaks were.
What's
There,
up,
J Dog.
Low G's?
J Doggy.
What's up, ladies?
Let's see all we got in here real quick. So I said hi to Jeremy and Lisa Elliott, Brian B. Good morning. We got Lyle Stokes in here. Well, I feel famous.
Did you say Lyle Stokes?
Yeah.
Never heard of him.
Well, Quiet Man Curtis, good morning. Okay, where is J Dog and those impressions? Murillo Family Fishing. Eric B, good morning. Oh, J Dog, we are on my channel now, so we might have to let you do some impressions here soon.
Why's it gotta be me? Why can't Chris do it?
I don't do impressions.
Impersonations, impressions, it's all the same.
I love everybody.
Morning, Curtis. We're not doing it because we hate them.
See,
We're
why
doing
you
it 'cause-
want to make a backhanded comment like that, make it out as if it's a mean thing?
It's
Chris?
if we make fun of them, it's because we like them.
Well,
Yeah.
So you
Huh?
mean something like nobody likes me, and I don't have to go live and show everybody the fish I catch.
Yeah, that was perfect me. There you go. See?
See, I like it even. That's the new rendition of it. Is we don't. Here it is. We're not going to do requests today if we do any impressions. Although I thought we kind of milked it for all it was worth already, but this might make it worth doing. We'll try to guess who they're doing, and that was obviously J Dog. Hey, Jeremy.
What's up, bud?
Morning, Jeremy.
Morning.
Bobby.
I can only get on here for a minute, but I thought I'd jump in.
So Friday morning, you gonna be out on the water too?
Yeah, I plan on fishing Friday morning and Friday night.
As do I. And I normally only fish about 4 hours a week, so this weekend's gonna wear me out.
I'm not going to say what time we're going to be there Friday, but it's going to be as early as I can get there.
Okay. I'll probably put in there at the house about 5:30.
All right. Yeah. For anybody that don't know, Jeremy's got a mansion right on the water. He owns a sprawling 935 acres out there. Got 4 slips and his own boat ramp.
Nice. Sweet.
Wasn't no truth in none of that.
Well,
We didn't believe him anyway.
Living on the water was true. So y'all going back to Skaggs tonight?
I was going tonight, but it looks like the weather's going to be rough tonight. And if it rains all afternoon like it's supposed to, and in the morning, I'm hoping that water muddy up, and I'm going to head back to the log jam tomorrow night.
All right. Well,
Hey,
you know,
Jeremy, you ready to go, bro?
I'm ready.
so you know when you first hang that left right out of the boat ramp going back towards Skaggs?
Yeah.
On the right hand, the left hand side's the channel. The right hand side there's that flat. We have we've scanned over through there a few times and always seen there was some fish there. Have you ever fished up that far up in the Skaggs any much? Because we've been talking about dragging right there.
When you first go in Skaggs, you know that first bend to the left right there?
Yeah.
Well, that flat from the mouth of the creek to that bend on your left right there, that whole flat, it's usually full of bait and stuff in there. I catch a lot right there. I hadn't fished it last couple of weeks, but
so that's the next bend down past where I'm talking about.
yeah.
Right.
But that's a good clean place for you to drag, though. You can probably catch some fish here. There's not a whole lot of underwater stuff you can get snagged on.
Yeah, you get back in Skaggs, especially from like the island back. We've drug back there, and it's just such a headache.
Yeah.
I mean, you catch fish back there. It's a great place to fish. It's hard to drag back there.
Yeah.
So I've got Google Maps pulled up. Is Skaggs straight out across from Bailey's Point?
Yeah.
No.
Yes and no. You can get to Skaggs that way, and they have that labeled as the mouth of Skaggs Creek, but you're not going to hear people call that the mouth of Skaggs Creek, because I always consider Skaggs Creek once you get back next to the boat ramp. What about you, Jeremy?
Well, Skaggs actually starts right there, kind of right in front of my dock. My dock's at the mouth of Beaver and Skaggs right there. That's where they both start.
Right.
Everything, everything else out there in front of it, that's just the main lake.
Right. If you go on Navionics, they actually label that opening you can travel to Skaggs that's straight in front of Bailey's Point ramp as the mouth of Skaggs Creek.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I didn't know this because Lee asked me, he's like, is this Skaggs Creek right here? I'm like, no, you can drive straight back all the way down through there and you'll hang a right and you get to Skaggs, but that's not Skaggs Creek. And he's like, well, why does it say mouth of Skaggs Creek right here? I said, well, I've never called that Skaggs Creek.
Yeah,
So I basically need to go back up in there farther.
Yeah, I'll show you, Chris. I can send you a screenshot of exactly where it's at if you're wanting to fish Skaggs.
I don't care where I fish, as long as we're catching fish.
Skaggs is a good place, but it's not where I fish the most. But it's a good place. It's more of a, if we're in the mood to anchor, we anchor more back that way just because there's not as many places to drag. But there's a few spots I'm wanting to try dragging back there.
I'm never in the mood to anchor.
Shut up.
I've been trying to talk Jeremy into start dragging. He's got the perfect setup. His John boat's already got the rod straight out the back and everything you need.
I'd rather anchor.
That's right. You tell him.
This ain't about you, J-Dog.
Well, I think me and Jeremy need to go against you two. How about that?
We're not doing any challenges against Jeremy. Jeremy's better fisher than me. I don't mind saying it, and I don't need to go on YouTube and let him prove it.
Cody, you need to go to church tonight because you can't tell the truth.
Yeah.
Jeremy goes out. It don't matter. And he don't just fish for one kind of fish. He go out catch bass, crappie, catfish.
I want to see battle at the Barren.
You know, Jeremy, have you ever I thought it was really odd that with 80, which the water temps come down some now, but 2 weeks ago, water temp was 86 degrees over there, and the crappie were in 1.5 feet of water up on the bank. It was identical to like spawning locations.
They have like a fall spawn in the fall where they'll come up shallow and stuff again. They'll it look like they're full of eggs and stuff when you cut them open, but I guess they're not fertilized or anything, but they do come up and try to spawn again.
Yeah, but that's like once the water temperature starts back dropping, right? I mean, this was before our water temp even dropped any. It was still like 86, 87 degree surface temps.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was just 2-3 weeks ago. And we were cast netting shad, so we'd find, some areas that had some shad and kind of push them up towards the bank and cast net on them. And every time we pulled the net in, there'd be 5-6 crappie in it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's hard to say.
I want to know why it's me. When it comes to me, get him, J-Dog, get him, J-Dog. But then when it's Cody's turn, he just sits there like a little girl and won't say nothing.
Well, because Cody can't fish worth a lick, and I don't want to get my tail whipped.
I got to catch up in this slot tournament this month, so I'm probably not going to be just trying for big fish this weekend.
30 inches, huh?
Yeah. I took my board with me to Florida and I actually caught 7 flatheads. Every one of them was a slot. And I forgot I was in the tournament till the last fish.
I bought one of those boards and I never, ever take it out. I don't ever get in tournaments either, but I keep telling myself I'm going to put it in the boat, so we've got it. I'd like to start weighing them and measuring them and seeing how accurate the math is. You know what I mean?
Right.
I've done that a few times, and the few I've checked it on, it's been within like 2 pounds of what, but I've only done it a handful of times, so that's not a very big sample group. Jeremy, we were going to get in that slot tournament, but they used to do it where you registered your boat. And the ones me and Daddy got into was you just registered your boat. So it didn't matter who reeled the fish in, long as it was in the boat you registered, which worked out good for us. But now they do it by the person. So if Daddy registered, he has to reel the fish in for it to be a legal fish.
Right.
And we always fish together. We only fish like 4 or 5 hours a week. So if I reel half the fish in, then it's cut way back on the number of our interable fish, and it's hard. So I wish they still did one where you could do it where it was just register the boat, so it didn't matter if you had somebody fishing with you.
Right. Yeah.
J-Dog changed his name.
If anybody needs my number, they can holler at me this weekend. I'll be out there Thursday night, all day Friday, and probably a little while Saturday morning. I don't care to show them anything.
All right. Thursday night too. God, you go get her this weekend, ain't you?
Well, I'm behind in this slot tournament, and I got some ground to make up. Ryan Bortz is in it this month, and I really want to beat him.
You absolutely smoked them last month, though, didn't you?
They come back and got close. They got within 4 inches.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I had a 25-inch lead for like 2 or 3 weeks, and they come back and submitted some fish the last day. They got within 4 inches of me, but it wasn't bad.
Well, I think I looked a week before it ended, and it was like a 30-inch lead or maybe close to it. It looked like a lot.
And I caught all those fish the first 2 weeks of the month. I didn't catch a slot fish the last 2 weeks of it.
Oh, so you just coasted through.
Yeah, I got lucky. I mean, I was trying to catch them, but we got on some bigger fish the last couple of weeks and couldn't get anything under 30.
Yeah. I don't know about you. How would you sum up August on Barren River Lake normally?
As far as how many catching or size or what?
Just overall. If, somebody asks how the fishing is in August on Barren River Lake, normally.
If you'd asked me last year, I would have told you it sucked just because I couldn't figure it out. I struggled all last year. But just learning how to fish around the thermocline and stuff, I really learned a lot this year. No secret to what I do, man. I just if I'm on the main lake or something, I'll fish the flats. I'll find the ones that have bait on them, and I'll sit there and anchor up for a couple hours on the spot. And, I mean, that's just what's worked for me. Suspend drift, I've done a little bit of that. Just keeping your baits above that thermocline. Just working.
That's something I want to try more of, because I get the whole theory behind it, and it makes perfect sense keeping the baits above the thermocline. But until I catch a fish doing it, I feel like it's I don't have any confidence in it, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. The takedowns drifting awesome. I love watching the takedowns, especially when you're like fishing 10 foot deep or something.
Yeah, because there's no pulling out. It's straight down.
Yes.
A 10-pound fish will double a rod 2 times as far as a 30-pound fish will if you've got your line out away from the boat.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, I get the whole suspending part of it. I'm talking about, suspending them under the boards.
Yeah, we've only done that once, and we caught one fish, and it was the only fish we caught that day. So I mean, it made the day not a skunk. But I personally don't like it. I prefer, rather than trying to suspend above the thermocline, just go and find the flat shallow enough that the thermocline's not there.
And that's what I usually do up around here. If I've got a thermocline, if thermocline's at 15 feet, I'm fishing everything 15 feet and less.
Right.
But I know a lot of people go out there and they suspend in 40 feet of water and suspend. If the thermocline's at 15 feet, they got their bait set for 10 or 12. And I know they do it that way. I haven't had any luck doing it.
Yeah, it works. I don't. It's not my preferred method. And when you go out, you got to do something that you enjoy doing. And I don't enjoy fishing that way that much. So I used to prefer anchoring up, but I've gotten to where now I get bored anchoring up, just sitting there, get to being too much of a busybody.
I went Monday night and I wasn't showing a thermocline anywhere.
Saturday night I'd never seen a thermocline, and we went out going to Target in on some flats over towards Browns Ford, and I didn't see a thermocline, so I actually cheated some baits over into the channel, and then I had, because we run such a wide spread on the planer boards, I had my farthest right hand board all the way in channel, and then had the other on up on the flat and everything in between. But the only fish we caught that evening was that big fish Kelly caught, and it come from the board that was further up in the shallows. And there was so much bait there, you could have walked across the water and not got wet. I mean, the bait was just everywhere, but the fish weren't doing anything. And there, where we were dragging, there was 5 boats putting out pool noodles. And as we was leaving, most of them were taking up their noodles. And I was curious. I was like, well, we've had a crappy night, but they've got between the 5 of them, 250 hooks out there. Let's see how they did. And they're like, nope, didn't catch nothing. Nope, didn't catch nothing. So it was just a rough night, I guess.
Yeah. Richard, Fishing and Freedom's asking, can you actually see a thermocline on a graph, and what does it look like? And the answer is yes, you can.
Traditional is the easiest way to see it for me.
Yep, I agree with that. And it looks, I don't know if you would call it like interference or fuzziness or. That's the best way I can explain it. And it's when you've got a good solid thermocline, it's almost unmistakable. You look at your graph and you'll see that straight line across the water column and it's everything underneath it's fuzzy. And of course you don't see fish in it. You'll see all the fish up above it. But the best way I can explain it on the graph is kind of interference or fuzziness, but you can definitely see it.
And it'll be a different color based on the color palette of your graph. For the Garmin and the color palette we have it set on, it always shows up as blue. And we lost J Puppy, and it'll just be like a solid, like just looks like it'll be, just peppered all the way across it. And thicker it is, the more solid it'll be. And you'll see little dots of white in between it. But once you see it, it's the thermocline,
Hey, Cody, I hate to cut it short, but I'm going to have to get back to work here.
All right. Take care, buddy. Hey, thanks for coming up.
Yes, sir. See you.
See you in a couple days.
Let me text J-Dog here.
He left because you wasn't talking to him. His feelings hurt.
Sorry, I was talking to Jeremy. We don't get him up on live stream much. So I text him, say, back up, please. So, and I'll drop the link for anybody else that wants to come up. J-Dog's got to come back up because we never did get his impersonation.
Yeah, he's got to do his Cody impersonation. Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. He's not supposed to tell us who it is.
J-Dog makes everything fun. Not that you don't too, Chris.
Oh, I didn't take any offense to that comment.
Well, I said that, and I was like, well, that kind of sounded backhanded. But I think, I dropped the link in there. All right. Well, while we were talking there, I missed a few people that come in. I think I said hey to JTC when he come in. But 351 Cleveland, hey, how's it going? Richard Cluck, of course. Thanks for joining us. So it says we got 26 people in here. We got Stephen Corley, Mississippi Life. Good morning, everyone.
Real quick, since we were talking about a thermocline, even up here in the colder months, some of the deeper water on our lakes, I still think I have a thermocline. I mean, it's not as defined as it is in the summer months, but we get here on Monroe Reservoir, we're fishing mostly 20 foot of water, but some of those places where it drops into 35 or deeper, even when the water's colder, I can see a thermocline down there. It's not as defined, and I don't think it would prevent the fish from going down there, but I don't think they're staying in it. And I just thought that was weird. I was always thought that the thermocline was something that happened when the water was warm.
Well, it comes from that water, the water temperature difference.
Right.
The lower water being colder and the top water being hotter. So in winter, I guess it would come from the lower water being warmer and the upper water being cooler, possibly.
I wouldn't think that would. I don't know. I mean, I just don't know. I maybe when you get into the colder months and the water's 50 degrees, and down there in the bottom it may be down in the 40s or 30, high 30s, and maybe that's why it's still showing. But you're right, Art. It is low oxygen, but it's because of it's not just because of the water temperature. There's a lot of decay and stuff like that affects the thermocline, but typically it is in the summer months, warm water on top, cold water on the bottom, deplete of oxygen.
Yeah.
But I know I've been out there with 50-degree water temperatures, and when I get into that deeper water, I'm seeing a thermocline on my graph. It's not very distinct, but it's still there. And I always just thought that you only had thermocline with warmer water on top like that. And usually it doesn't really get real defined until that surface temperature gets in the mid 70s and above. But I know I've been out there before with 50-degree surface temperatures, and when I get into that deeper water, I still see a thermocline, and I don't know if it's just because my graph's not set up right or if it really is a thermocline there.
Well, I've never seen that myself, so I don't I don't know exactly what's going on there. And then I thought, yes, the dissolved oxygen level is extremely low inside the thermocline, so nothing can really live down there. Fish can dive down in it and swim and stuff and all that, but they're not going to stay in it because there's no dissolved oxygen. Actually, this being a where we fish a Army Corps of Engineers reservoir, that's what our lake is. They actually put out a thing here a month or so ago about the thermocline. It was telling water temperature at different depths, and then also telling what the dissolved oxygen level was. And you see right whenever that water temperature at so many feet starts getting a lot colder, that's where the dissolved oxygen level just disappears and bottoms out to basically nothing, less than 1%, and down in the low 0% and so it's got a lot to do with water temperature, because you can see the direct correlation between, all right, 15 feet's this water temperature, this is the dissolved oxygen level at it. 30 foot is this water temperature, this is the dissolved oxygen level at it. So it's some cool information. And if you fish a Corps of Engineers lake, look up, see if you can find that information on their website, or I think the person sent it to me. It come off the Army Corps of Engineers Facebook page. Keith Doc Reed, how's it going?
So here, I'm going to change the subject for just a minute here. You guys talk about the Army Corps of Engineers running that down there, and Monroe Reservoir up here is also ran by the Army Corps of Engineers. And I've heard you guys say that you've got a pass or a sticker or whatever you put on your boat that allows you to go anywhere that's ran by the Army Corps of Engineers.
Yes. And I got to go get that today.
Well, up here, if I buy that, it's a sticker that I put on my boat, but it says Indiana on it. So I don't think I can use that anywhere else.
Well, what we have, and I actually have it in my truck, and I'll get it. I can run and grab it. And it's supposed to be good for anywhere that's Army Corps of Engineer boat ramp. Are you going to Army Corps of Engineer ran boat ramps?
Well, that's a good question because
It's
I mean the whole lake is ran by the Army Corps of Engineers, but at the same time they have uh, Indiana DNR employees that kind of take care of everything. Like there's one boat ramp I can go to and you don't have to pay anything to launch. But there's some of the other boat ramps, there's a couple. But like if I go to a Payne boat ramp, there's a campground and stuff there, and you have to pay to launch in there because you got to pay to get into the park. But you're not necessarily paying for the launch. You know what I mean? But if your boat is on Monroe Reservoir, you have to have one of those stickers.
well, I was hoping this had some information on it. I was actually supposed to swap it in by August 5th, but they told me it didn't matter if I went over a few days, so I'll go do it today because they give you a placard to hang from your windshield, from your rearview mirror.
J Dog, you missed coming back up here. That's what you missed.
Yeah, I sent come back up, and he said no. Be dang, he's been a butthole this morning. But so not all the ramps on Barron are run by the Army Corps of Engineers either. Like you go to Browns Ford, there's no launch fee. You go to Port Oliver, there's launch fees, but it's also a Corps ran ramp. So if you've got the $40 annual pass, then it costs you nothing. Well, I mean, it costs you at $40, of course, but there's no daily launch fee. So, and it's not like Kentucky's fishing license where it expires on an exact date. It goes by 365 days from the day you bought it.
So I think what we get up here is a launch permit for Indiana. I don't think it really translates to any other Corps of Engineer lakes. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And well, from what you're sounding like it's yours is not a launch permit. It's a permit to be on the lake.
Right.
Yeah. So it's not a parking pass. It's a lake pass. If that
Right. That's exactly what it is. I was just curious because, I've heard you say before that, you've got that pass and you can go anywhere. And I don't think you can do that up here on Monroe. I don't think it's.
Well, I'm sure if the ramps there, if there's any ramps there that are run by the Corps, this is sufficient for the launch fee, but it's not got anything to do
with the lake.
With a permit to fish the lake. That
Correct.
would be an additional thing. Like we go to Eufaula Lake. We've been going once a year, past couple of years, and some of their ramps are run by the Corps, not all of them. But if we go to the Corps ramps, we don't have to pay the launch fee. But then there's other ramps they have that aren't Corps owned, and we have to pay whatever fee they are, even though it's still a Corps lake. The launch fee is just individual to that ramp itself, nothing to do with the lake.
Yeah, because the more I think about it, the more that makes sense. Because if I didn't have the sticker on my boat, well, actually I have to have the sticker, so that doesn't make sense either. But if I go to Cutright and launch, there is no fee there, but you still have to have the sticker on your boat because if you get out there and they find you without that sticker, you're probably going to get a ticket. But if you go to Payne, you're paying basically to get in the park and use the ramp, not necessarily a launch fee.
Look here, J-Dog's trying to make me beg. You guys are very smart, and people are learning from you guys. You don't need some idiot up there. J-Dog, pretty please. Come on. Go ahead and say it, Chris. Tell him.
J-Dog's the best fisherman I know. I love him, and I want him to come up on panel.
So, and then Bugman says, the Indiana Lake Launch Pass gets you on any lake run by the state or any river. Oops, capstone. Run by the state. All right. So, is that the same thing you're talking about there?
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, because then in that launch permit, I think it's only like $20 for the whole year, and then you could go on Monroe or Patoka or Brookville, any state-owned lake.
And you personally, so you would rather just launch there at Bailey's Point this weekend, right? And drive the boat to wherever you're wanting to fish.
Well, I mean, it all depends because we're gonna be loading up when we're done every day anyway. So I mean, it's not like we're gonna leave the boat sitting on the water. You know what I mean?
Right. Because
But it all depends. Does it take me 20 minutes to drive there by car and 50 minutes by boat?
probably 15 minutes by car, 20 minutes by boat. I mean,
It all just depends.
It's going to be comparable. But the gas in the truck to pull it over is a lot cheaper than the gas in the boat.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I mean, the boat's going to be loaded on the trailer anyway, so it might be easier to just drive the truck over and launch and.
Right, launch right there with whoever you're meeting up with or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, you have both options, obviously. I just curious if while you were down, if I should be sending you where we think the fish are. I talked to Jeremy and Randall. They're going to be fishing a few days before we get out, and that it's great to have somebody to bounce that off of. I always tell Randall where we've caught our fish, and he always tells me where he's caught his, and it helps us both make a decision on where we think is going to be the best place to go.
Right. Well, what I'll do for Friday is I'll probably talk to you on Thursday, let you know what time we're going to get there, things like that, and then I'll meet you wherever you say we should be launching from, and then when we're done fishing, I'll drive over to the campground and check in and get set up.
All right, sounds good. And then Bugman says a tax for you to go fishing, but then you got the fishing license tax on the gas you use. It is what I call the fun taxes. Yeah,
Fun taxes.
You got to pay taxes when you make on the money you make. You got to pay taxes on it when you spend it. You got to pay taxes on it when you sell it.
Taxes on your taxes.
Yep. It is what it is. All
right, now J-Dog, get up here.
Yep. We need to do some impersonations. Chris has got some in mind too. He's going to.
Nope.
Yep. Chris Lee, do not disappoint, young man.
I've already disappointed.
Oh my God. Oh, he muted himself.
You don't want to hear me vaping.
Sound like a freight train?
It's funny how loud that vaping is when you're streaming.
Do y'all hear me whenever I turn my camera away to mine?
Actually, I haven't. No, I thought you were muting every time you did it.
I don't know.
If I don't mute it, it sounds like this. You hear that?
Yeah.
That's why I mute.
I told J-Dog he's hurting my feelings because he won't
hurt my feelings.
He's hurting
Uncle Lou's feelings. He's hurting everybody's feelings. Especially Michael Murillo, because Michael Murillo wants to hear that impersonation.
I texted him last night and said, if for some reason Lee don't go live, me and you's going to go live in the morning. And he said yes. Well, Lee went live, but had to cut it short. So now we are live, and he won't participate.
J-Dog, get back up here because I got to leave soon. I'm supposed to be working right now. I'm supposed to be doing stuff.
I'll tell he's going to light into you.
Nah, she'll get over it. I'll get it done before she gets here. I'm going to get as much stuff as I'm going to go ahead and get all the stuff I can load up. Just, I don't think there's any rain in the forecast for tonight, but if I can get it loaded, as long as it can get wet and it don't bother anything, I'll load all that stuff up as early as possible and then save the stuff that, needs to go in the truck or something like that for, like when she gets home, we'll get the cooler and stuff, everything ready. And
well, I didn't think y'all needed a cooler. I thought y'all just drank straight out the lake with y'all's little water purifiers.
Well, we could, but it's a whole lot easier just take bottled water. I've actually thought about doing that just, and making a video on it. because it would free up a lot of cooler space.
Well, J Dog, if you come up here and ask him, maybe he would. But you got to come up on screen to ask.
I'm waiting.
I don't know why he's wanting to mistreat us today, Chris.
I don't know if I can fish tonight or not. It all depends on. I got to get a hold of Telly and find. Let me ask Telly.
Uh-oh. He's sounding more and more like Leroy. And, of course, anybody else that wants to come up on screen, I'll drop the StreamYard link. But I know.
Yep, get some others up here so I can go get my stuff going. And
once Chris gets down, I ain't going to sit up here by myself. I'll have to.
Hey, will we be doing? Do you think we would be doing much suspending down there at all?
So, I mean, depends on if that's the way you want to fish. I didn't even see a thermocline last time I was out.
I mean, my preferred method is dragging, but the next best thing for me would be suspending.
I'm not going to be doing much suspending.
I've got a couple rods that are rigged up strictly, and I bought them for the kayak. They are set up for suspending, and they're for the kayak. And I've never caught a fish on either one of them, and I'd like to. But if I don't think I'm going to be doing any suspending, I'm not even going to put them in the boat.
You was talking about you run 6 rods dragging, and all those are out the back?
Yeah, I put 2 straight out and 2 on the left side with planer boards, and then depending on how Telly's feels. She doesn't like to run 2 planer boards. A lot of times she'll run 3 out the back and 1 planer board. But
all right. So we most of the time run 2 in the center straight out the back, staggered lengths, and then 2 sets of planer boards, staggered at widths. But we also always run 2 suspended rods drop straight off the side.
Well, I don't have the extra rod holders for that right now. I mean, I've got them. I just don't have them on the boat. Maybe I can get that done today, and then I will take those suspended rods.
And when you're fishing shallow water, they don't get hit near as much because I think the boat spooks those fish. Like, say you're fishing 7 foot of water.
Right.
The fish is right there 6 foot under the boat. You're more likely spooking. I notice those suspended rods don't get hit as much. But in the winter months when we're fishing deep water, they get hit a lot. But we still just run them out. And we've caught fish on them even in shallower water. But, yeah, I mean, especially if you got 2 extra rod holders for them, I would be putting them out while I was dragging.
Well, if I can get everything done today, I mean, I need to make a video. Well, I'm not going to go into that, but maybe I'll put those extra rod holders on the boat today if I can get around to doing it. And if I get them done, then I may bring those suspended rods with us.
All right. And J-Dog said, it's fine. I'll fish by myself. Hey, J-Dog, you leaving us hanging up here, so why?
That's right.
Why do we?
You're trying to guilt trip me.
Yeah. Chris Lee's to get down because he's busy and ain't got time to fool around with goofy old Cody.
Whatever.
And you won't come up here and keep the show going. So, chat's not really moving that fast, and I ain't got that much to say, so I'll just have to end it. J Puppy.
J Puppy. Come on, J Puppy.
He's wanting us to really, really beg, I guess.
I'm about begged out. I ain't got no more beg to give.
Murillo said, I think you two should fish together, but I know I don't get a vote.
There you go. Here's my new J-Dog impersonation. I'm going to catch 14 fish and nobody will see it. I don't mean to brag, but I catch more fish than anybody. They just don't know because I don't go live. How was that?
Pretty good.
There's Tom, LG Bass.
Hello, host and guest. How's it going, Tom? How's the doc been treating you?
We'll be on that dock about a month and a half, or less, actually.
Look here, Jay. Richard said, J Dog, I'll be there in about 10 hours.
I'll tell you guys what, I'm serious about this. If anybody ever is going to come up this way, I highly recommend you go out on the boat with J Dog. You're going to have a good time. Nobody said you were better than anyone.
He read your comment. God bless. Read it again, Chris.
I'm going to catch 14 fish and nobody will see it.
Well, that's what I heard the first time too, but he must have heard
He's putting words in my mouth. If I did say that, I didn't mean to say it. Or if I did mean to say it, I wasn't being serious about it. Come on, J-Dog.
He's throwing a Lee Evans fit.
Yeah. He's going to quit YouTube 6 times today.
And be on it the whole time? I bet it is. Wish I didn't live so far from everyone. Would love to fish with all of y'all. Yeah, Richard, it's the great thing about YouTube is you get to branch out and get to know people that you don't live close to, but then at the same time, when you want to actually fish with those people, it makes it so hard. So,
Leroy Evans 2.0. Well, J-Dog, if I said that, it was a joke. Come on.
And then, let's see here. Tom said, hey, Cody, fish Friday night. Only one takedown, though. 5 hours of thunderstorms, but we was fishing.
See, J-Dog proving the reason that I don't want to do impersonations.
J-Dog's going fishing. When you were the POTUS, we will take care of them. The FBI loves to raid homes.
What's up, Bobcat? I know I read your comment, but I didn't say hi to you.
Everybody be sure to hit that thumbs up. I do appreciate it. It is a help to the channel. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this Virginia trip, too. Get to eat some of Michelle's foods and snacks and lots of great fishing and good company. Freddie and Nina are going to be there, too.
So y'all got a big trip planned to Virginia, too, huh?
Yep. Yeah, we're going. Well, this trip's been planned for pretty much the whole year. We planned this trip before we knew the Kansas City CatCon dates. And now we can't go to Kansas City because we already had this trip planned.
So y'all were on a drive to Kansas City to CatCon?
We did last year.
Why?
Why not?
So far away.
We had a lot of fun at Kansas City CatCon last year. And the main reason was because it was so much, it was a smaller show than Louisville. And we were everybody from YouTube was able to go out together. And we all had dinner and stuff. And we all get to hang out at the show. And not that Louisville wasn't any fun. Louisville was a blast too. But, that smaller group of people and being able to all be together was a lot of fun. Yeah, you're soft and I'm not. That's what Murillo said.
And It's All Mine says it's going to be awesome. Can't wait. Chris, you just brought a smile to her face. Thank you. All right, Marilla. If you're going to try to poke fun at me, you better get up here and do it. Jay hiding in the background just wanting to run y'all's mouths.
Just tell him you're in a meeting, Murillo.
I know his excuse. Kansas City is for the Rick tubers. What's Rick tubers? Does he mean rich?
Oh, probably.
Yeah, Rick tubers. All right.
Even with that being said, Chris is taking Telly other directions during the KC CatCon, so I am saddened. Very saddened, but I will see them again in Kentucky. You know you will. like I said, if I would have known the dates to Kansas City before we planned this trip, I would have tried to make it a different time so we could still do Kansas City, but didn't work out that way.
Y'all still gonna go to Louisville too, as well?
Oh yeah, we'll be in Louisville every year from now on. I mean, that's only an hour drive for us.
Right.
Hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah, 2 hours for us. It's not a bad drive. Bobcat is less than 3 hours south of me, so Casey is a luxury that I cannot afford to waste. Murillo's probably closer to so he is closer to Kansas City than he is
Oh yeah, absolutely.
by a long shot. But big money YouTubers like y'all can just go to all of it. It doesn't matter.
Here he comes to save the day.
Look here, it's Moneybags Bob.
That's right. There's the money bag. He got his own business. His own guide service coming soon.
Loaded. I just pour my money out on the floor of my boat and rolling it every night.
Yeah, that's Richard Cluck. He says KC CatCon was where I met my first YouTubers. Chris, Telly, and Murillo were the first ones I ever met. And I remember that was Richard Cluck was the first person to ever say, or for somebody to walk up to us that I've never met and say that they knew us from YouTube. That was Richard Cluck was the first person to ever do that to us.
You thought you something, didn't you, Chris?
No, not really.
Oh. So why is this the second part of Lee Evans? Did Lee have to get off her? I got busy working.
Yeah, Lee had to leave. He had something going on.
He had a emergency of some sort come up, and he asked me if I'd just go live and keep the show going. So
there you go.
Oh, J-Dog. I really know it's for Telly, not me. But
J-Dog, you're going to do some fishing while you're down here. We got enough boats. You going to cram in the boats where we got space, and you're going to do some fishing with us. So go ahead.
If somebody buy me a bigger boat, I'll take more people out.
I've tried talking Daddy and buying a bigger boat. I said, we can't fit but one guest, and then, that's the max. And heck, even then, somebody's sitting on the rod box.
Yeah, well, y'all's boat is about the same size as mine, and it's crowded with 3 people in a boat, a 17-foot boat.
Well, yours is narrow like ours as well, so it doesn't help the spacing at all.
J-Dog says he don't lake fish.
I don't like fish. I took Ryan Bortz and Mark out. What was it, last Friday night or something? I don't remember. Got 40,000 CFS and 3 people in my little tiny boat.
Oh my goodness. J-Dog says, I fish like a man in a rushing river where I can die at any moment. Rushing river.
Chris, you dying as if Lee Evans falls on you or farts next to you.
Farts on him. That's what I was thinking.
J-Dog's profile picture, the one with him, the little dog with the muscles on it, fits J-Dog to a T. And the little dog with... I love it. Fits him to a T. The little dog that thought he could.
All right, Cody, Bobcat, I'm sorry, man, but I've got to start getting some of this stuff done.
All right, brother. Thank you for coming up and hanging out for so long this morning. I appreciate it.
You're in good hands, Cody. You got the man, the myth, the legend right there.
The legend. Crazy boy.
See y'all later.
Take care, buddy. So what are you doing this morning?
I'm working out, putting film for a job. I got one job going up on the press right now, and I'm working on outputting the films for another job. I'm just working away, my friend, working away. I got the illustrator going in the Working in Illustrator, got YouTube going in the background.
Just
Getting
got.
it done, buddy.
Is that a Palmetto shirt I see in the background?
Yep. Yep, got a Palmetto shirt back there. What size is that? I don't even know what size it is. I think it's hanging up there because he gave that to me at Catapalooza. Is where I got that shirt, I believe. Yep, Catapalooza. I hate they canceled that this year.
Yeah, I thought it had the opportunity to be a really nice event. I liked the venue they had.
Mm-hmm.
It was a good time, even with the smaller number of vendors, because so many people were out of stock on different stuff.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I thought
I hope it guy continues it.
Yeah. So
I don't know if they just didn't make enough money to do it this year, or they couldn't get stuff together, or what. I don't know.
It was the first year they did it. I think that if they would have stuck with it, it could have grown into something.
Yeah. I can't remember why he said they canceled it.
And it was in a good location. I thought it was pretty central to a lot of folks. Within a 2-3 hour drive of a lot of people.
Yeah, it's definitely a good location, and people were bringing their families down, and there's so many other things you could do while you were down there because you're right in the hard Pigeon Forge there.
Right. Yeah, we did a lot of stuff while we were down there. I'm not a big fan of the mountains myself. I hate driving up and down those dang bluffs, but it was a good time, and I mean the building was second to none. So J-Dog says my sticker's on the windshield of his boat, I believe.
Yeah, I got the little muscle dog up there. Pretty sure. I'm fixing to have to tear that console apart. That's going to be a mess. I'm not looking forward to that. I'm going to have to take all the wire, and I'm going to have to pull the steering column. I'm going to pull the throttle. All that stuff's got to come off because what I got to do is I'm separating that console. It's made into two pieces, and I'm separating the base from the top. I'm getting rid of the live well, and I'm putting in another base on it I'm going to free up about a foot on either side of the boat, and I'm going to free up about 3 square foot in front of the console because I'm removing the live well. Because here's the thing, that boat's got a live well in it. I don't use a live well. If I'm catching crappie, I'm going to eat them, so I'm throwing them on ice. If I'm catching catfish, I'm letting them go back, or if I'm keeping a few, I'm putting them on ice. I don't need a live well. I don't fish with live bait enough to justify having a live well, so I'm going to get rid of the live well and just put a cooler right there where the live well is at. That's going to be where I store my cooler. If anybody's sitting in the boat, they can sit on the cooler, and that'll free up about 4 inches on either side of the console so I can get around the console easier without having to, shimmy in between it because there's not a lot of space right now.
Are you going to film any of that and put out maybe a tutorial? Because I know those are popular.
Oh, Lord. I don't know if I got the patience to do that or not.
Well, I'm sure you've seen people that do these boat modifications and stuff.
Oh, yeah. The way I do things, though, I wouldn't want to tell people.
I'm not reading Tom's comment. You have to read it.
I'm not even, hang on, let me get on there. The hottest stick on the water, keep them pigs from fish. I don't know about that, Tom, but I appreciate it. Just buy a bigger boat. I can't afford to buy no bigger boat.
My sponsor is buy me one Uncle Lou's Tackle Company, but
if somebody send me about $6,000, I go get me a bigger one right now. I know where one's at for $6,000. A friend of mine selling a 1960, not a 19-foot long, 60-inch wide side console and old low, and it's pretty much a wide open platform. I guess it was used as a utility boat. It's got plywood in the floor. Man, I'd like to have that thing. It'd be a great platform for somebody. It's only got a 50 horsepower on it, but it's light. It's a aluminum boat. It's it's got plywood floor in it, a 50 horsepower motor on it. It'd be a good boat.
Well,
I thought about selling my center console and buying it.
y'all hear that? When Bobcat's live, somebody drop him at 6,000. Well, it needs to be about $9,000 super chat to cover the YouTube fees, so he can go get the boat.
I'll sell you a 22-foot center console with a 125. There you go, J Dog.
Look there,
Don't tempt me.
he's trying to sell you the Muskrat.
I know, right? Is that got a 125 on it? That one J Dog's got, or is he trying to sell me Roger's boat?
No, he put a 125 on it.
Who, Roger or J Dog?
J Dog.
Oh, okay.
Big Money J Dog's got 14 boats.
I know it.
He just got another pontoon.
Another pontoon.
Yeah.
Good grief. Talking about some money, man. Dang. It's like same field color.
J Dog Bob just buy the dog pound. And Uncle Lou said, Deep V, you all make me nervous in John boats in that stiff current.
I wouldn't. I'm sorry. I don't like deep V's. I do not like a deep V. I like a flat, stable platform. The deep V's. If the weather's too bad for me to be out in a deep V, I don't need to be out. Period. So, I've fished quite a few times out of Daryl's deep V, and I don't like them. I don't like how when you walk to one side of the boat, the whole boat pitches. I'd rather have something with some flat on it.
Catfish Izzle. How's it going?
That's Brandon. What's up, Brandon?
Oh, so you know him?
Mm-hmm. He lives here in Chattanooga.
Okay. I think it's the first time I might have seen his screen name, so I wasn't sure. Well, thanks for joining.
Yeah, he must have changed it back. He changed it to Brandon, and then he must have changed it back.
Okay. So I probably know who it is. He just changed his name. All right. And then J Dog said $4,000 delivered for the dog pound. Look, he tried
What's the dog pound?
his pontoon he fished out of all the time.
I don't want a pontoon boat.
Don't think
My
there's
big mind, don't tell me.
enough boat. I bought a 17-foot tracker, 97-inch beam. Thought it would be plenty. Already want a bigger one. Yeah.
Dang, 97-inch beam. That's a wide boat.
It is. For a 17 tracker, it's really wide.
Yeah, is that a deep V or a flat bottom, a mod V? Because that low I went and looked at the other day had an 80. It's a 19-foot boat with an 83-inch beam, and your beam doesn't really matter as much as the profile of the side too. That makes a big difference when it comes to boat.
Tom said, somebody asked me in a live, what would it take to get me to use a largemouth bass for bait? My answer was a fully loaded Sea Ark. Or
I'd do it for a lot less.
Hey, you're allowed to use largemouth in Tennessee.
Did they change something? Well, you always could as long as you can prove that you caught it by rod and reel and it's of legal minimum length requirements.
Well, I thought you were allowed to use them down there. Heck, Daddy caught a 4-pounder down there, and he used it as bait.
Well, like I said, I talked to a game warden, and basically he told me that that's kind of a gray area. Like, if you can prove that it's 14 inches, and to the game warden, or if you use it live, you can use it whole and live. But if you cut it up, you have to be able to prove that it was 14 inches, and you might catch a game warden on a bad day. He says, well, you cut that up. How do you know? Now that you've altered the length of it, how can you prove to me that it was 14 inches? So I just wouldn't do it unless I was filleting it.
Yeah, that's what he did. Just cut the fillets off the side and threw the head and spine back in the cooler.
Okay, well, in that case, maybe so.
Uncle Lou said my big behind don't tip mine like that. He's got a Targa.
Yeah. Well, Daryl's is big. I mean, it's a 17. What is it? It's a big old boat too. I mean, it's wide. Got a big beam.
Art says shoot a pontoon moves when his big boys are in them and move from one side to the other. Hey, Daddy's boat really moves when I go from one side to the other. I mean, heck, the
Mm-hmm.
about touches the water if I stand to one side. J Dog said, "Oh wait, $3,500 delivered for the dog pound. I forgot."
They just keep it. We stay live, and he'll be giving that thing away. Give him another hour.
Real Beast, how's it going?
What's up, Pat? Pat dropped a new video last night too.
Pat's got onto a lot of good fish this year, hadn't he?
Oh yeah. Yeah, that old big boy he put up last night, he caught with me, man. It was funny, that rod, we were sitting there watching the rods, we were anchor fishing, and it was a Mad Cat white ghost, and that rod just went.
It's always a big fish.
I mean, he did not slam it. He didn't bury the rod tip. I wasn't even sure there was a fish on it. I figured it was a channel cat messing with him. And he did that twice, and then finally I said, "Go down there, reel down on him." And he reeled down on him, and it was a haul.
The big fish do that, though. You know, they seems like the really big fish will just ease that rod over, and then once that rod bottoms out, then you'll start seeing it shake. Murillo said, "I move the bank when I fish. That's how big I am."
Well, I'm trying to go the other direction. I can't afford a bigger boat, so I got to lose weight.
Yeah.
See, the boat will feel bigger now.
I've lost a little weight myself. I'm down to like 271. I was up to 290. So
I've lost 46 pounds since January.
dang, you can't tell it.
Thanks. Thanks, Cody.
I meant
Make a guy feel good.
I meant you can tell it. I'm sorry.
Well, my clothes are real loose. I haven't bought new clothes. I'm still wearing a 2XL. I bought some new dress shirts for church and some new pants, some size 40 pants, but I still wearing my old loose clothes. I ain't rich like J Dog.
Well, my thing is, my wife had a yard sale back at the beginning of the year, and all my 2X shirts didn't fit me worth a dang. My 2X and 2X tall shirts. So she bought me all new T-shirts and bought 3X tall. And now they're looser on me than what I like to wear. And I wish she hadn't got rid of my 2X stuff because that 20 pounds made a pretty big difference on stuff fits me. My problem is my gut makes my shirt so short, my belly wants to hang out the bottom. I can't stand that.
Right.
Mr. Murillo, he stood there and talked to a nobody like me at CatCon for a long time. That meant a lot to me.
Bless his heart. Yeah, what's up, Matt? I talked to you, J Dog. I offered an arm wrestle and you chickened out.
Oh, Bobcat, when you going to drive up to Kentucky and do some fishing?
How long a drive is it?
I think it takes us 3.5 hours, something like that.
Okay. I can't do nothing until I got to put a new seal in my trailer. I got up there the other day greasing the doggone axles on my trailer. And I was putting grease in it, and it wasn't pushing back out the front. And I thought, uh-oh. And I went back there and looked behind it, and the back seal's blown out. I got to take that thing apart and put a new grease seal in there. I hate that. I hate working on axles and bearings.
Oh, J Dog talked to me at CatCon too. I was starstruck.
Cody needs a Dickie Doo shirt. His belly sticks out further than his Dickie Doo. No, you ain't right.
Hey, oh, you're gonna get timed out because you won't come up here. You told me before I went live that you was gonna be up here.
I'll give you $3,500 for the 24-foot boat, J Dog. Not the pontoon boat. You're probably making $2,500 on it. Come on, man. Tell J Dog to come up and we'll negotiate.
J Dog, he's wanting to buy your Muskrat Junior. You better come up here.
The Muskrat 2.0.
Muskrat 2.0. Yeah, it's better. I'm in the middle of replacing my trailer axles completely, all rusted out from Louisiana waters.
Yeah, that ain't no easy thing. The boat we got down the beach, I'm fixing to have to change out all the supports that holds the bunks up. The trailer itself is aluminum. This is stupid. Why build an all aluminum trailer and then the support for the bunks are made out of steel? That don't make no sense to me. So I got to replace all the steel supports for the bunks now because they rusted out. We've already, last year, we replaced the leaf springs. But if you're going to build a trailer out of aluminum, why not use the aluminum on the supports for the bunks?
Our last trip to Alabama, we tore both the side bunk boards fell off that boat and both the dust covers off the bearing cover.
You did what now?
Both the bunks fell off his trailer.
Oh, my Lord.
Just the wooden pieces, you know.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll tell you what I did when I replaced the bunks on my G3 trailer, and this is a pro tip now. I replaced them with cedar planks, with cedar wood, so it'll never rot. And then when I drilled the holes out, of course, I covered them with carpet too. But when I drilled the holes, I used galvanized lag screws, and I coated the screws in Gorilla Glue so that, I pre-drilled the holes and then coated the screws with the Gorilla Glue. And hopefully them bunks will last forever because they're made out of cedar and they should never rot.
It's a good idea.
Like true 2-inch cedar boards, not this 1 5/8 crap or 1 3/4 or whatever a regular 2x4 is now. Like true 2-inch cedar planks. Western red cedar, I guess is what it's called.
J-Dog said,
Mind me.
talking to Art was weird. It was like talking to family, not someone I'd never met before. Look, he's getting all seppy now. I thought your logo had green in the background.
Dude, I'm a graphic artist. I can make it whatever color I want. That was just whatever I was on my computer at the time. I've got so many different versions of my logo.
Hard to keep. Well, you need to put a bigger fish in. You catch bigger fish than that.
Yeah, that one fits in the logo well.
You go with not with the size you check, just with the size it fits.
Yeah, that's right, man. Got to be appropriate. So J-Dog's going to sell me the Muskrat 2.0 for $3,500. Something must be wrong with it.
He said, "Deal, money ready."
All right. I go to the bank as soon as he gets it here. Then after that, I'll be looking for a lawyer.
I told him I think the boat's worth about, I don't know, I think it's worth about $4,000, maybe a little more.
Now, easy, Cody, easy. Don't be talking it up, man.
No, I mean, it's a nice boat.
Oh, I know. I'm sure it is.
It's got a few years on it, but at that price, you're going to get a boat that's got a few years on it.
Well, I didn't buy this other boat here because I had and this is just me. I had a tracker topper my first boat I ever owned was a tracker topper, a 92, a 1648 John boat, and it was a riveted John boat. And the thing kept breaking on me. It kept like at the rivet seams, at the braces, it kept getting cracks in it. And it never leaked, like none of the rivets ever leaked on it, ever. But it kept getting these cracks in it. But I think that's partially my fault because I built this big old like deck structure out of aluminum, and I basically stiffened the boat up so I didn't allow it to flex. And I think that's what caused it to keep breaking because I had a lot of crap in it, and I stiffened it up where it couldn't flex. And you know, boats have to flex; they have to. So it's probably my fault. But after welding it for the third time, I was like, you know what? I am just $200 a pop every time I'd have to find somebody to weld it. I said, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm not going to keep welding this boat up, and I just sold it and bought this one and went in debt for my G3. G3 is a great boat when it's just me and maybe one other person in it. But if you try to take three people, it will not handle three people. It just, I mean, you can. It's uncomfortable.
You know, I'm really surprised that. Before I go on to that, J Dog said it's a 1985 Bobcat. He wants to know when he's supposed to pull it down to you.
Tell him to be here at lunch.
All right, he better get on the road.
Does it run, J Dog?
And then Art, he sent me a picture of you and him together. I told him he needs to come up on screen, and he sent me a picture of you and him together. Said he don't care about me no more. He's a 1-tonner and a 1-tonner only. Bob, your decal should be of a big catfish, and you in the background. All we see is your fingers underneath while you're holding it up from your eyes behind the top of the fish.
What, Matt? You don't like my logo, man?
But I'm really surprised that Chat Cat's guides out of the boat he does.
He has for years too. Well, you know, actually his boat's got more room in it than mine, even though the hull on our boats is identical. His hull and my hull are the exact same boats. The only difference is his is a side console and mine's a center console. And the other part of that is like Joe is like 150 pounds or maybe less, maybe like even 130. I don't know. He's like a little dude. I mean, little dude with a lot of, he's a wrestling coach, you know. So he can shimmy around people in the boat.
You know, you would think he would try to get a boat that would accommodate more people. It seems like it would be better for the bit. I don't know, but
yeah, I mean he's very practical. Joe is. I've spent time with him, and I mean he doesn't even have like, he's got a very simple depth finder on his boat. Joe fishes by instinct. We call him the Chattanooga Catfish Whisperer. He's been fishing this area so long that he's figured out, you know, where they're at. But yeah, Joe's a small dude too, so he can shimmy around and through in between his clients in his boat pretty easily. And plus, the side console it takes up far less room in the boat. That's why I'm making my console smaller. I'm trying to reduce the footprint so I have more floor space in the boat by doing so. Because I love the center console. I mean, I absolutely love my center console. It's just that console's hard to get around.
So you've not thought about making it a side console?
I could, but you know, the side console has a lot of advantage. The center console to me has a lot of advantages. One being in the dead of winter, maybe I can tuck down behind that console and be completely out of the wind. I can run wide open up the river. It'd be 17 degrees, and I'm basically sitting in a in an area where there's no wind on me whatsoever behind the console. You can't do that in a side console.
No, in the winter, well, most time Daddy's the one driving, and his console blocks a fair amount of wind, but nothing like what you're talking about. But I get no wind blocked off me. I freeze my butt off in the winter cutting across the lake.
Oh yeah,
35 mile an hour at 2-degree weather, it gets nippy.
yeah. And it's also, I like my center console for Cody is scared of Jeremy. I like my center console for mounting cameras and stuff on. I've got all kind of places I can mount cameras. I can move the light to the center console. I can land the fish anywhere in the boat, essentially from either side of the boat, and I don't have to try to land it around the console. So, it has a lot. Center consoles have a lot of advantages and disadvantages, and the biggest disadvantage of mine is being it takes up so much floor space.
Now, after 15 texts, I'm here. What do you want?
What are you doing this morning, beautiful?
Well, I was trying to talk to Bobcat, but you won't quit texting me.
What's up, sexy Shed?
What?
Little FYI for people that don't know, but the Muskrat was actually started out as a center console.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
And
yours still has a center console.
Yep. And the only difference in my boat and Rogers is mine's a Starcraft and his is a Sylvan.
They're probably made by the same company.
Yeah. Same size, same year, same everything.
Yeah, you got a title with it?
Yep.
Matt, I don't.
What temperature did you say? I said 17 degrees, Murillo. Yes, I've fished in 17-degree temperatures.
We're out every weekend, regardless how cold it is. We've been out plenty of days, and it was 0, 1, 2 degrees. But Matt said, Cody, quit crying about 2-degree weather. You live up north and should be used to it. I hunt negative.
You don't live in north.
Yeah, what the heck, Matt?
Kentucky ain't considered north. It's north of Tennessee.
I live as far south of Kentucky as you can go. The next
my first fishing tournament I ever did on YouTube was on Mark's 1v1, and it was so cold that day when I stood up and tried to walk away, my hand froze to the windshield.
Oh my Lord! That's bad. Well,
go ahead.
I did more crappie fishing in the winter than I have catfishing, and we'd go out and catch crappie, and when we bring them in the boat, they splash water all over the deck, and within moments the deck starts turning into a sheet of ice, and man, that's crazy sketchy right there when you get ice all over the deck.
Yeah, I've got where I don't even like throwing the cast net when it's below freezing, because you get drenched and then you close or stiff as a board. You're already dealing with, when you reel in, that ice gets all on the eyes of you reel and you rod and stuff. But
somebody tell Danny put his glasses on. He's on the wrong channel. This don't have nothing to do with the Mississippi.
Oh,
David, did you get out of your therapy session?
Look here, Matt's gonna get timed out calling Kentucky the North.
I'm telling you, he could call you a Yankee. What's up with that? Ain't you ever watched the Dukes of Hazzard, Matt? Hazzard County, Kentucky?
I catfish many a days like that, Richard. It's a headache, but part of it when you're on fishing the coast.
Yeah. Keep dipping the eyes, keep the eyes thawed out. Absolutely. But here's the thing about crappie fishing in the winter that I absolutely love is that them crappie, they get tight. They stack up, they wad up, and I'll go scan a dock, and they'll look like a Christmas tree. They'll light it up. They get tight in the wintertime. When that water's down below 50 degrees, man, that's good fishing right there.
All right.
And my comment earlier about Murillo, that was from the heart. That was true. He really did sit there and talk to me for a long time. And that did mean a lot.
He wouldn't talk to me at all. He ignored me at CatCon.
He sat there and listened to me rant and rave about how much it was all rigged and all that, and didn't say nothing mean to me.
Yeah. Well, I talked to you. I tried to get you to arm wrestle me. You wouldn't.
I tried to get you to arm wrestle, but you said, I don't want my arm broke right now. You said, I can't. I got to hand out stickers and shake hands. I don't want my hand broke.
Oh, J-Dog, your pants are on fire. Come on, bro. Your pants is just gonna burn up.
Tom said last year he caught a fish and the dang net was stuck to the boat. Uh-oh.
That happened too.
Danny Stone, Outdoors. Keep talking and we'll build a dam where the Ohio meets the Mississippi and cut y'all's fish off.
Ain't he below me? What good would that do?
Being from the north, Murillo said, being from the north, I will state that no, we do not, nor have we ever claimed Kentucky. This is a Great Lake state, isn't it? Just kidding. Southern Ohio is a Great Lake state.
We don't like Ohio.
Yeah, we don't care nothing about Ohio, that's for sure.
Ohio.
Nobody knows. Still don't know who I am there, Bugman.
I didn't know. You know, it hurt my feelings. I thought Murillo was like that to everybody at CatCon. Then here he was being nice to you. I kind of feel even more singled out.
Yeah, he didn't talk to me either.
Yeah, Bob, we ain't special.
I know. I thought when I got to 1,000 subs, I'd have all the friends, didn't you?
Well, it didn't work that way, did it?
No. That's fine. Y'all I'll click up, Click up and click out. When you bring my boat down, Jay?
I'll be there in 4 hours.
Are you only 4 hours from me?
Yeah. I'm 5 hours to Watts Bar, so how far are you from there?
I'm probably an hour and 45 minutes from Watts Bar.
North or
Maybe
south?
not that far. South, I believe. I think. I don't know. I've never fished Watts Bar. I've never fished it. I'm going to, though, during that tournament Roger's putting on. Guess what I'm going to be doing?
All right, J-Dog.
I've seen the people who hang out at Watts Bar. You'll never know what you catch if you go there. And I'm not talking about fish.
Oh, wow. That's high.
Foster to Chattanooga is 5 hours and 24 minutes. So
I can't read the chat, so
he'll be out $500 in gas bringing it to you. So that's a good deal, Bob.
You're probably right. Probably right.
Brian B said J-Dog wouldn't give me his autograph at CatCon.
See,
he tried to sell it to him, though.
See, Brian's another one. He was as real could be at CatCon. He made it a point to come over and talk to me, everything, unlike the other Potomac crybabies.
Potato River boys.
Yeah, Brian was real. That's why I love Brian. He come right to me, and just like you see him on TV is how he was there.
Ballhead.
Yeah.
Y'all didn't spoon, did you?
Hey,
No.
it's Family Channel, Bob.
What's
Hey,
up, B?
Out of everybody in that Potomac, Brian's my favorite.
Yeah, me too. I like old Brian.
Well, J-Dog, turn your camera on. We want to hear this impersonation you had.
No.
We ain't going to start with impersonations.
Yeah.
See, Bobcats were not allowed.
Yeah, we are. Today, Bobcat, you get to do one, and everybody's got to guess who you're doing.
Nope, can't do it. Working.
Yep.
Grunting.
Bob.
Why you got to play games, Cody? We're just trying to do things here.
It's
We're trying
'cause
to talk.
it's fun.
We're
Well,
trying
we're
to
gonna
talk like men here.
we ain't gonna do it too long like we did last time. We did it too long last time. But J Dog texted me last night and had an impersonation he'd need to do today, and so Andy told me that this morning. So we want to hear it.
No, I didn't.
You didn't tell me that?
Who was I going to impersonate?
I'm not saying everybody's got a guess.
I don't remember what you're talking about.
You do.
That ain't true, Art. I'll stick up for Brian on that one. Or at least for me, he come talk to me.
Ben Colder. Thank God Ohio still has many hillbillies. How's it going, Ben Colder?
Hey, nobody. You know, they took that big old group photo and they wouldn't let me in it. That's how bad it was with me, J Dog. They wouldn't even let me in the picture.
Look, he said I was
Remember
hiding from COVID. He said that boy's so ugly, COVID don't even want to touch him, so I can go to him.
That's pretty bad.
Didn't talk to me either. Brillo and Brian B both talked to you, but wouldn't say a word to me. I see how it is.
They wouldn't associate with you, Cody. Come on.
All the time on both sides. They were mean to me at CatCon, ignored everything I said to them, and then they treated J-Dog with all this love and respect. David Smith, how's it going?
What's up, David?
Howdy, David.
Hope you're feeling a little better, Art.
Art been sick?
Yeah.
Let's hear that.
Come on, J-Dog. Let's hear it.
I'm not doing impersonation. Bobcat said no, so I ain't doing it. He's the boss. I think Bobcat needs to make me a new sticker.
What you know? I like the one you got. I like the one with the muscle dog on it. Dude, that suits you perfect, man.
I need one just like that, but I want it to have the YouTube on it because that way people know where to go.
Well, send me the art.
He needs one with a poodle instead of a bulldog.
Poodle? Like a little teacup chihuahua?
No, he's got a full-size poodle.
Oh, okay.
One of the big mean poodles.
Oh, like an Airedale or something?
No, it's a standard poodle.
Oh.
Obviously, somebody don't watch my channel.
I don't watch anybody.
Yeah. Well,
I watch people's channels sometimes. I just have so much going on.
well, Bob is officially dead to me.
Officially.
Officially. Actually, I didn't even hear that.
Should I kick him off screen, J-Dog?
Who?
Do it.
I had to bring him back up. I didn't want him to really get off.
Won't bother me none. I'm working either way. I get to talk to y'all while I'm working, so.
Catfish Hizzle said unsubscribe.
Yep. As soon as I get off here.
If he unsubscribes, Bobcat, I'll go over and finally subscribe to you. Keep you.
Hell, I had you blocked till about a week ago, Cody, and you know why?
Because you're I ain't gonna say you're a fart drinker. That's why.
No, because you was messing with Lee, and it caused you to get blocked by me.
Dang right, Jay.
Filipino connection.
You read this, J-Dog. It's about you.
You read it. You do better.
I can barely
read.
Dang right, J-Dog. You're the angler, and he don't watch you. He must think he is too good for the dog pound. Cats and dogs.
Whatever, man.
I guess.
That's right.
I watched him and Tara catch that 70-pounder back to back.
That's been a year ago. You ain't watched none of his stuff since?
Well, he ain't got another 70-pounder.
He's just jealous because he ain't got one.
Oh, I do too. My big fish is 73, Bubba.
Well, mine bounced between 72 to 76. I just went to the lowest number.
Well, mine hit 75, and I just caught it 73 because I had him in the net.
Oh, yeah? Well, you're ugly and you can't read good.
Well, J-Dog, well.
Y'all got or tore up in a soup sandwich.
A soup sandwich. That's mixed up right there.
See, even Murillo knows to call it the dog pound. That's because he watches me.
Well,
You want me to watch? You turn your camera on. I'll watch you.
You don't want to watch me right now.
You naked? You're right, I don't.
This show will go south really quick, I promise.
that thumbs up if you can.
Yes, absolutely. And make sure you subscribe to 3+1 and unsubscribe to Bobcat Outdoors.
Nothing but love.
I don't think anybody in here is actually subscribed to Bobcat to unsubscribe.
Probably not.
And about Lee, he asked how about Lee. It's nothing bad to nobody. Don't worry about it.
You know,
It ain't like nobody got hurt or sick or nothing. So
is he still busy?
no. I talked to him. That's why I got off here earlier.
You know, Bobcat's got to go out fishing with Daryl and put Daryl in a video just to get a view.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. That's true.
I mean, who wants to watch Bobcat keep breaking poles? I mean, that's disheartening.
Yeah.
Well, see, Daryl got jealous and he had to break one too, just because I did.
Did he?
That? Yeah, same.
Yeah,
he broke Uncle Lou's bumping rod.
Yeah, but nobody watches Daryl, so who's seen that?
True.
How'd he do that?
He tried to bill dance a 15-pound catfish over the side of the boat.
He finally caught one fish, and he's so used to catching little fish that he can just flip up in the boat. He thought he could do that one.
He tried to boat flip a 15-pounder.
Yeah, with a bumping rod.
You get away
Bumping
with
rods
that.
ain't built the same.
Yeah, you get away with that with a regular rod, but not with a bumping rod.
He just got done watching the Brian V video and seen how he got his fish in the boat, and he thought he'd try it.
Well, Brian B's fish only weigh about 4.5 pounds.
I know, that's what I said. He'd seen Brian flip him in the boat like that, so he figured he'd try it.
Well, you can't do what them Potato River boys do. Thank you, Matt. See, I got one fan in here.
Is he your only fan?
Probably.
Bob's got OnlyFans?
I got all kinds of fans. I got little fans, big fans, fans that are full of lint, fans that the motors are burnt out on them.
Danny said there's $100 reward for anyone who can catch the fish that ran off with Bobcat's fish grips.
That's true. Yeah, see, look there, Greenwell. He's a fan only because I'm making stuff. Man, no love.
Hey, Lee lost 2 of his Uncle Lou rods right here in front of the house. And me and my brother was out fishing a couple weeks ago. And he pulled his pole in. It was tangled up with Berkeley big game. And he thought he had his pole. So he just untangled it, threw it back in the water. But all his poles was still out, or wasn't out. So I bet you $100 that he had Lee's pole and didn't realize it and threw the line back.
Could have been. You know, there's also a fish running around the Tennessee River with a B&M bumper rod attached to him.
Where's one
I
running
don't have
around?
that on video.
There's one running around Barron with a B&M Silver Cat Elite connected to him too.
Yeah, I didn't tell you. I might have told somebody. I don't know. I was bumping the other night. And I got tired of bumping, so I decided to anchor up, and I tied off to a barge or a construction platform. and I was bumping, and I put the bumping rod in the rod holder to go up there and get some anchor rods out.
There you go,
And
Bob.
as
Look at
I
that.
was- What? Hang on, let me get over here to the phone. I can't see.
Dang, you cut him off right in the middle of his story.
Hey, that's more important.
There you go. There you go. There's a little muscle dog. But while I was trying to get another anchor rod out, I heard kapow. I turned and look, and I'm like, where is my bumping rod? He broke everything. The only thing I had left was the piece that was sticking in the rod holder, about 6 inches of it.
You should tighten your drag up a little more.
Yeah,
no doubt. Well, that Alios has 33 pounds of drag. I guess I know how much force it takes to break a bumping rod now.
why would you?
Lyle said he needs some hats, Bob.
What?
Lyle said he needs some hats.
Okay. I can't afford none. I'm buying a boat from J-Dog.
I don't know why anybody would ever have their drag cranked down so tight that it could break a rod. That just,
You ever caught a fish bumping?
it doesn't. Why let them take some drag?
Well, I just like to keep mine tight when I'm bumping.
Yeah, where'd that
I
get
might
you?
have actually tightened it down when I was fighting a fish and just forgot to loosen it again. That's probably what really happened. I'll make you some hats, Lyle. Send me an email.
Hey, and you need to make a big order, Lyle, because he's buying a boat and needs to sell a lot of hats.
You can place your order at www.don'tknowhowtosetyourdrag.
J-Dog.
Big Tip Fishing, how's it going? Chris Lee,
Yes, sir.
what are you doing back so soon? Did you get tired of chores?
I haven't even got started on them yet.
Well, thank you for coming back up.
You know, there's only
Actually-
6 of those hats in the world. I'm just saying.
That's what Danny Stone keeps saying.
Yeah.
You know, I sent J-Dog a 3
How many of
plus.
those hats you need? Can I say enough to buy a boat?
I sent J-Dog a 3+1 outdoor shirt custom made for him, and he won't even send me a hat or a shirt.
I don't make my shirts. Uncle Lou's do. You got to talk to him. Got to talk to my sponsor.
My problem with shirts is, I keep ordering the size that I know I wear, and then right after Telly washes them, they don't fit no more.
Yeah.
Did your 3+1 outdoor shirt shrink on you?
That one and my Uncle Lou's shirt and most of my catfish shirts.
Well, I'll tell you a little secret from somebody in the t-shirt business. If you want a shirt that don't shrink, your best bet is to buy 50-50. They shrink less. All shirts shrink depending on how you wash them. But cotton, 100% cotton shrinks the worst. 50-50 shirt shrinks less. And wash them on cold too.
Brian B said, "What size is that, Chris? A 4T?"
Four tonner.
Yeah.
Golly.
Matt, I personally keep my drag loose, and whether I'm anchoring or dragging, especially dragging, because if I hang up and the boat's moving, I don't want it to put all that shit in the rod. I want it to be able to drag pretty easily.
Well,
as far as bumping, you'd have to ask Bobcat. He's the only bumper up here.
Don't listen to Bobcats. Didn't you just hear him say he broke 2 rods?
Yeah, don't do what Bobcat.
Here's a pro tip for you. After you get done fishing, loosen your drag up. Because over time, if you keep the drag tight all the time, it smashes your drag washers down. Ooh, it's thunder.
I don't
We
know.
talked about that the other day, Bobcat, about, I've got my Akumas actually say it right there in the owner's manual stuff, is that you should loosen your drag when you're done fishing every time. And because you keep those washers smashed together, any kind of debris or anything in there gets in there and dries up, it's going to cause problems.
Well, your drag washer should never be dry. When I rebuild rods and reels and replace drag washers, there's there's something called drag grease that you use on them. So you don't need to soak them in grease, but I smear a little bit of grease just to keep them moist, especially Carbon Tex drag washers. I don't know about some of the plastic ones.
You're talking to somebody that does zero real maintenance.
Yeah.
If
But,
people notice,
David
every time I fish, I check mine. As soon as I throw them out, I recheck all mine.
See, I don't. I know I should, but I don't. I'm just call it lazy, forgetful, whatever, you know.
Well, every time we put the rods out for the first time of the day, we take and pull plenty of drag out, loosen it up, pull plenty out, and then tighten it to where we want it. I don't just pull a little. I want the drag washers to really have to slip for a little while so that I know that, they hadn't got anything dried in between them. Because you can put them in the rod box pretty dang loose and then get them out and just assume they're still loose and they tighten themselves up some. So by pulling that drag out yourself, you get rid of that.
Richard, no, I don't. I don't have time to do that. I've done it for people in the past, but if I had more time, I'd do it.
I kind of look at it as I can always tighten my drag up as he's taking off with it. But if you already have it tight and he takes off, by the time you realize that your line's popped, it's too late.
Yep.
True.
Well, so one of the things I've always thought about with a loose drag is not getting a good hook set.
Well, you don't keep it that loose.
Yeah, don't keep it loose.
Probably keep 3 pound to 10. If I had to guess, and this is just complete guess, but about 3 pound of drag. I almost always have to tighten.
Probably a good rule of thumb is if you put your rod in the rod holder and you can pull line off the reel without a whole lot of effort, that's probably good, just to where it'll move without you having to really yank on it.
Yep.
That's what I do. I throw them out, sit them in the holders, and then I go back and check each one, just pull on the string and see if I can move it.
Yeah. And I think as long as you got a good sharp hook, you'll get a good hook set.
Right. Yeah. I think about 3-4 pounds of drag's plenty, and that's, you know how hard it is. Got 3-4 pounds. It's pretty easy. It's about how hard you imagine 3-4 pounds in your hand. Pulling that hard is about how hard you should set it. That's what I think. Which is on the looser side, I would assume, than most, but I don't have a problem with hook sets.
How many people let me ask you this question to everybody in chat too. How many of you actually use your line clicker, your bait clicker?
I don't.
I use it after the fish is in the boat. I put the clicker on, set the drag or set the spool to free spool, and then the clicker keeps it from backlashing, so I can move that rod with fish in the boat, put it back in the rod holder. That's the only time I use my clicker.
I do. Yeah, I do it too sometimes.
I do it after Chris taught me that. I do it every time.
I never use it.
I learned that from Tim King, being out on Tim King's boat. And it's
my bumping reels unfortunately don't have a clicker.
It's great because you put that clicker on, hit the button to free spool, and now you can do whatever you want with that rod. You don't have to worry about it backlashing or doing anything. You get it out of your way, get it back in the rod holder, and then work on getting the hook out of the fish. And sometimes when I'm running boards, like especially if I'm on the boat by myself, I put my first planer board out, I'll turn the clicker on, and I'll leave that clicker and leave on free spool so it can pull out slow while I'm rigging up another rod.
Yep.
And then I can just look over my shoulder, and when that board gets out to where I want it to be, then I can go over and lock it and take that clicker off. I'll use it for that too.
Yeah, I do the same thing, and that's an awesome way to do it too. It gives it some tension on the spool while you're letting that line go out.
Yep, it's letting it out and it's pulling out away from the boat at the same time.
And it sounds cool.
Yeah, it does sound cool.
So Matt said, when I cast mine out, I pull on the string and see if it releases with ease. It's good. I also do it if the spool won't reel in line. I tighten it up a little. So in reels, in little line, I want it I want it to where I want my drag to where I have to tighten it down if I got anything over about a 10, 12 pound fish on. I want a 10, 12 pound fish to be able to pull drag on how tight I have mine.
Yeah.
I don't catch 10-pound fish, so I keep mine pretty loose because I'm going to pull it.
It'll work on 5-pounders too, Jay.
I'm waiting for Bobcat to grow a set and call me out.
Well, we'll do it when you bring the boat down.
I'm going to bump him right to the back of the line.
Bump him to the back of the. I like it. Dang. Why is that clogged up? Looks good otherwise.
And Catfish Hizzle says, I use clickers all the time when I night fish in case I don't notice the bite. And I keep good drag pressure applied. I love the sound of the clicker waking me up.
Now,
Yeah,
that's a good point because if I'm around here bank fishing for channel cats, a lot of times channel cats, they feel pressure on that, they'll just drop it. And I'll turn my clickers on for that. And that way they can pick it up and run with it with little resistance. You know what I mean?
Hey, Bob Kitten, you ever walk your baits down the river, or do you always bump?
If I'm anchor fishing,
yeah,
and we've got decent flow, I'll take my bumping rod with me, and I'll put like 4 rods out the back, 2 out the sides, and then I'll walk a bait right down the middle of them. Helps kill the time, and you never know when you pick a fish up that way.
I was thinking about doing that at my. I was thinking about doing that at my dam.
Right.
But isn't that really the same thing as bumping? You're just the boat's not moving.
Well, they call it walking bait. They call it walking baits rather than bumping because your boat's not moving. You're actually walking the bait back behind the boat. I guess the terminology is a little bit different, but the concept is the same. And you'll probably need to use a lighter weight when you're doing that because what ends up happening is either you run out of line or you get so far behind the boat that you can't feel the sinker anymore. The further behind the boat you get, the less you can feel the sinker. You can feel the bump. So you have to, you can only go out so far. And then if you just want to stop, you can put the bumping rod in the rod holder and risk breaking it like I did.
Well, what I was thinking was bump or walk it down, reel it in, scoot over 50 feet, walk it, bring it in, scoot over 50 feet.
That'll definitely work, but more likely than not, you're going to end up bumping the same path because the current's going to take the bait, back to the middle. But it'll definitely work because fish aren't just sitting still; they're moving around.
Well, the difference is, Matt, I don't have an expensive trolling motor to bump.
That's a lot of pulling anchor.
Have you seen my arms? I'll rip that anchor right out the bottom.
He can pull the plug out the bottom of the lake.
I will pull the plug right out the bottom of that river.
Just look at his logo, guys. I'll tell you everything you need to know right there.
Danny Stone.
These arms right there?
Yeah. That was an actual picture of me that they took.
How'd they get a picture out of your dream?
I don't know.
Science. Magic.
So that kind of leads into one of the questions I wanted to come back up here and ask. Because, we set out there yesterday, or not yesterday, a couple days ago when I took my dad out on the Ohio, and we anchored up. And we anchored up in a spot that I know J-Dog catches fish at, and we didn't get any bites. So I decided to start just drifting, suspend drifting. Now, to me, suspend drifting is kind of sort of the same way as dragging. You're covering water trying to catch fish. But are those fish just sitting there, or are they moving, looking for baits, or both?
Both.
Both, in my opinion.
Both. 100% both.
I mean, are you always moving, or do you sit still sometimes?
That's the first time I've ever suspend drifted on the Ohio.
When he's eating, he's sitting still. I've seen it. He ain't moving. He ain't leaving that food.
Picture.
But
Yeah,
you know,
I mean,
I was sitting there thinking about that the other day, and I'm like, all right, well, if these fish are traveling, why didn't we get any bites on anchor? Because the first fish we caught was only 30 yards downstream from where we were anchored.
Yeah.
Now, I think some of those fish, because you know, you've always got even when the bottom appears to be flat, there's still some stuff down there that those fish can lay behind and hide, waiting for bait to come down through there. And if your bait's suspended right over top of them when you go over them, they're going to eat it if they're hungry. And that's what I was thinking was you're catching both. You're catching the fish that are out and moving and looking, and then you're also catching the ones that you just happen to go over. But I didn't know if you guys had a different opinion than that.
Well, I mean, sometimes a fish bite a bait that is moving, and they're not willing to bite a bait that's sitting just because it's a more natural presentation.
That's a good point too.
These fish aren't eating.
Oh yeah.
There's not many meals they're getting that's not trying to run from them. They're not scavengers. They're predators. So
Thank you, Chris.
they're out chasing bait. So when you've got a moving bait, that's a more natural presentation.
And see, that's what I think about when we drag with the current. To me, that's more natural and makes more sense than dragging against the current. But I've caught more fish dragging against the current.
Well, I think that it's the best bait
I've never tried that.
if you can go with the current. It's a more natural presentation, and I prefer it. But the problem is controlling the boat, because you need resistance against the boat to keep everything good and straight. To get that resistance, you've got to go into the current, unless you've got a heavy wind.
Or faster. I set my trolling motor for slightly faster than what the current is. And that's enough pressure on my boards and everything to keep the boat straight and keep the boards all pulled out.
Let me lay some knowledge on y'all when you get done.
If I've got a 1 mile an hour current, if I set my trolling motor to keep me at 1.3, 1.4, that's enough resistance on my boards. It keeps the boat straight. And my bait is only moving 0.3 or 0.4 faster than the current. So that's pretty slow. You know, I mean, if that bait comes over the top of a fish, it's not like it's rushing over its head. But I admittedly, I kept more fish dragging against the current than I have with the current.
Because with the current, it could be going slower. How fast are you setting your boat when you're going against the current?
Well, I mean, the only time I can go against the current and still drag effectively is if I've got it's got to be less than a mile an hour current for me to feel like I'm comfortable doing it. Because any more than that, and I feel like I can't even keep my baits on the bottom. There's just too much current with a 2-ounce dragging weight. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, but on a lake, when you're dragging in a lake, how fast are you dragging?
0.5 to 0.7. See,
I'm normally talking about in a river, you're speeding up to 0.4. Well, you're going twice as whether you're talking about it or not, that bait's still moving twice as fast. So if you've got a fish setting there, it's tie him at twice the speed.
Well, but my theory though is if they're laying there, let's say they're laying behind a big rock waiting for stuff to wash down river, and my bait's going slightly faster than the current, that's to that fish, that's a bait washing down river. You know what I mean?
I'm not saying that the fish can't catch up with it, because show me a bluegill out there that can't swim a couple miles. You know, like they can faster than what you're moving at. I'm saying you're not leaving your bait in front of them as long.
That's true.
They can't catch it. It's just not in that strike long. It's in that strike for half the time.
Well, sometimes, I overthink it too. I mean, the fish doesn't think like we do, and when you're dragging up current, you know, to me that's so unnatural that a chunk of bait is going against the current. But I'm sure a fish doesn't look at it like that. They know it's food and they want to eat it. They don't care.
Well, let me lay some knowledge on you about that, Chris. When fish are sitting behind obstacles in the river and there's current, there's actually another current besides the downstream current. Eddy currents behind rocks underwater actually move back upstream. So I used to be perplexed by the thought of that. But when a piece of bait goes over an obstacle, it'll actually go upstream behind that obstacle. That's
Okay.
reverse eddy current. So it actually, you may think it's unnatural, but in reality, that's actually, it happens.
Okay, well, that makes sense.
With 20 years of whitewater experience, we actually would use eddy currents in rivers to go back upstream to what we call a tang. So when a bait comes downstream and it passes over an obstacle, the possibility of that reverse current or that eddy current to grab that bait will actually pull it back upstream. It happens above the water. It happens below the water.
Well, and here's another thing. So if you go off of that mindset, Chris, then all the bait's all the way at the end of the river. It's never swam back upstream. It can only go one direction. You think bait fish never swim back upstream?
Not chunks of them.
Well, not chunks of them swim. They're not out looking for chunks.
But they get caught in those upstream currents. So
just because it's a chunk doesn't mean that the fish is thinking, oh, it's a chunk of fish. It shouldn't be swimming. They don't have that kind of wherewithal.
And that's what I'm saying. I overthink it too much.
Although I do agree, going with the current is a more natural presentation. Or at least in my mind, and it seems like yours as well, your natural ambush scenario is them hiding behind something, a break, whatever, and then, weaker fish getting brought down with the current and them ambushing it. So what you're saying,
thunder.
Matt says, when I'm on the lake, I like to use the wind to drift. Finally got some of those drift stocks that were on sale.
That's exactly, my experience from suspend fishing came from kayaks because that's all I had at the time when I started doing this. And that's exactly what I would do in the kayak is I would position myself where the wind would blow me where I wanted to go or in the direction I wanted to go. And then I would only use my pedal drive or my paddles to keep me where I wanted to be, like over a ledge or something like that. And that was until I got the boat and discovered dragging. That was by far my favorite way to fish was suspending and suspend drifting.
J-Dog, you got radio silent on us. Come on, chime in on this.
That's because I know nothing about fishing. You guys are entertaining them.
Shut up with that.
You guys are educational. I'm special educational.
Well, that's what we need is some
We're
real
all special ed.
education.
No, they're here to listen to you guys and learn, not me.
Well, I'm getting ready to leave again because I still got this stuff to do, but I got to thinking about a few things when I was in the shower, and I was like, you know what? I may jump back in there. And
Fish are simple, Chris. Don't overthink it.
I know. That's what I keep trying to tell myself, but I catch myself doing it anyway.
Fish, they do what they want. You can't pinpoint what they're doing. You can just take a guess of what they're doing.
Yep. You just
I'm like
kind of look
Danny.
at your conditions.
And every condition for everybody is different. That's what I keep trying to tell Lee. Don't listen to everybody because their fishing situation is different than yours. Get out there, sit on your water and learn. Don't listen to people who fish in a river or a different lake because it's not the same as yours.
Danny Thompson, notice J-Dog ain't saying nothing. He don't worry about none of that crap. These guys hiring an engineer to analyze how to catch fish.
That's true. I don't put nothing into fishing. It's fun for me. I don't want to make it work.
Well, y'all heard me talking about Joe Jellison Chat Cats. Like I said, he doesn't have the fanciest boat. He has the simplest fish finder on his boat. Joe fishes by instinct. He's learned to kind of look at his conditions and, find spots that potentially hold fish and then go after them. Either they're there or they're not.
Well,
I can tell you from experience fishing with him, he don't move around a lot. I mean, he don't stay in one place a long time. If he goes to a spot, he'll get it 15, 20 minutes, and then he'll move on.
Well, my instincts too, but it didn't help me out fishing.
Yeah. Well, All right, everybody. I'm about to have to wrap this up. My kids is yelling for lunch. I didn't fix any breakfast, so gonna be out to lunch today for them. They're hungry.
Almost everything I do is just instinct, and that I've been fishing here for my whole life. If I'm fishing live, 99% of the time I can turn the camera around, show you that my cover is still on the fish finder.
Yeah, he bought that fancy fish finder. Don't even use it.
No, I don't. It's one of those stupid peer pressure things. I had to be like everybody on YouTube, and I don't. That's not who I am.
Well, hey, when I'm bumping, I don't even turn mine on. I don't need to.
Yeah, I've started turning mine off. If I do spot lock or anchor somewhere, I like to turn it off just because I'm like, why do I even need that on? I don't. It's just wasting juice.
But
Yeah,
I can't lie. The fish finder has helped me catch fish in places that I would have never stopped before. I mean, I'm not going to.
It's a great tool for finding those humps and things like that.
Yep.
And okay, this is a good spot. There should be some fish here.
But
use it as a structure finding tool.
Fishing is fun for me. I don't want it to be work. I don't want to go pay thousands of dollars to do it. Everything I own, I don't say this to be funny. I mean it's junk. But I have fun when I do it, and that's all I care about.
Your stuff's not junk. It's just
my stuff is
the
junk.
most expensive stuff.
No,
I don't ever throw anything away because someday I'll need it and I'll use it again.
Except for that one reel you had me try to get that fish on that one day. That one was junk.
Well, yeah, that's because I burnt the drag washers out of it because I catch such a big fish.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. Murillo says, before you leave, Cody, did you hear back from Lee? Is Tristan okay? I haven't talked to Lee. I think J-Dog did. I'll let J-Dog answer that.
Murillo, it's not, nobody got hurt or nothing in that area, so it's nothing to worry about. I mean, nobody's in trouble, nobody's getting hurt. It's nothing to worry about.
Everything's good.
Yeah, it's just teenage problems. You know how that goes.
All righty. Well, we are going to wrap this up. I'm going to give J-Dog full screen first since he's on the
I don't want full screen. I ain't got nothing to say.
I always like to give everybody a chance to say goodbye and tell a little bit about whatever they got going on.
Hi, bye. I ain't got nothing going on. I'm J-Dog. I do it when I want.
J-Dog, you're my hero. The only thing we got is Barren River Lake this weekend. If anybody in chat, there was no invitations or anything sent out. This is still open invitation to everybody. It's, Telly and I's anniversary weekend. We've been wanting to go down and fish Barren River Lake, so we're doing it. And everyone is welcome. Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
I'll be there Saturday and back home Sunday.
That's all I got to say about that.
And if you hadn't subscribed, check out the Hooks and Hammocks channel and the J-Dog's Gone Fishing channel.
Don't worry about mine. Go subscribe to everybody else. They deserve it.
Yeah. Godly. He's in one of his little fits.
I'm not here for that. I'm here to have fun.
Bobcat.
What's up, dog?
Come on.
Get back to the screen.
Tell them that's really my fish you're holding. I'll let you do that.
That's Jay. He's gonna sell me a boat cheap, so that's his fish. What do you want me to say? Go fishing.
Go fishing when you can, because it's good
for you.
For you, not
for you.
For you.
Why are you yelling, Buggy?
All righty. Well, Bobcat Outdoors, Fish Tennessee River. Think y'all probably already checked him out, but if you hadn't, be sure to do it.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at that pretty head.
Look at that bump stop. Look at the bump stop he's got going on.
Bald is beautiful. God only made so many heads.
All right. Thank you all for coming in, hanging out with us, listening to our bull crap, and letting us bicker back and forth about stuff. It's been fun. We will see y'all tomorrow morning on Lee Evans' channel, hopefully. Take care.
All right. See you guys.